Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Southwest.
From downtown Cleveland, the Rangers call on Andrew Cashner, who returns to the rotation in the series finale against former Cy Young Award winner and AL Player of the Week, Corey Kluber. Good morning and welcome to Cleveland, home of the defending American League champions, the Cleveland Indians. Rangers looking for a win today and a split in this four-game series. Yeah, former Indians in Rangers uniforms, and we are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go this morning here in Cleveland. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. Hey, you saw the image of Mike Napoli. The other image you're going to see here shortly is Andrew Cashner. Back starting again today for the Rangers. They've pieced this thing together for a while, but it looks like they're getting closer and closer to full strength.
Yeah, much like the lineup, all of a sudden now the pitching staff is coming together the way that John Daniels had hoped. And now you look at what has happened here so far. Cole Hamels back in the rotation. Tyson Ross back in the rotation. 10 different starters used this year. That's the second most in the AL. But it's Andrew Cashner coming off the DL today, and that certainly is some good news. Andrew Cashner has been so good in big situations. You see the batting average against with runners in scoring position. He has dominated at 164, and he doesn't let up the long ball. He does a very good job of keeping the baseball on the ground. He is not a big strikeout pitcher. He is a weak contact pitcher. Does a very nice job. It's been a while since we have seen him, so very nice to have him back on the mound.
Yeah, and an interesting point too, because the Rangers have not allowed a home run yet in this series. They have out-homered the Indians 8-0 so far, but in need of a win today. I don't know how likely the long ball is going to be today against Corey Kluber.
It can be very difficult. Corey Kluber has been locked in ever since he came off the DL. It's been 5 starts for him so far, but you look at Corey Kluber and the history, and this guy has been so good. The American League Cy Young Award winner back in 2014. Struggled a little bit in 15, bounced back very nicely last year, and he has been extremely good all of a sudden now this year. You look at his month of June, and he has absolutely dominated. And this is when it started for him, when he came off the DL. 1.55 ERA. That's the best in the American League. The opposing batting average, 157 so far this month. It looks like he's lining himself up for an American League pitcher of the month. And he's not allowed to run either in his last 21 in the third innings. This guy knows how to pitch. He's got great stuff. And we're going to talk about it a little bit later. He's got a tremendous curveball.
Now, he is the reigning American League Player of the Week. Now, as far as the Rangers hitting home runs, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Robinson Chirinos, because he hits home runs off everybody these days. A miniature Babe Ruth. Robinson Chirinos will be squarely in our spotlight when we come back. AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
A picture-perfect day for baseball here in Cleveland. The finale of a 4-game series between the Rangers and the Indians on tap. An early start here at Progressive Field, and Robinson Chirinos once again in the lineup. It is becoming harder and harder for Jeff Bannister to keep him out of the lineup, especially when you look at the numbers. He is the subject of our Shiner Light Bond Spotlight this afternoon, and Robinson, 1 home run in every 8.4 at-bats. Home runs in each of his last 4 games, and 7 of his last 9 hits have been, guess what? Home runs. Robinson Chirinos seeing the ball so well, playing well behind the plate, basically forcing the hand of Jeff Bannister. Banny said, look, it was hard for me to get him in that lineup when we were fully at full strength offensively. When Carlos Gomez came back, Mike Napoli, Adrian Beltre, he said, but at this point in time, I have got to find a way to keep Robinson Chirinos in the lineup because he is just hitting the ball too well. Hopefully that trend will continue here this afternoon as we close out a 4-game series in Cleveland. We've got the first pitch coming up right after this.
That guy was about to grab his cock.
Well, welcome to Rangers baseball presented by AT&T. And for the final time on this trip anyway, we greet you from Cleveland at Progressive Field. Last game of this 4-game series, Rangers looking for a victory to go 2-2 against the defending American League champs. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. 39 wins, 39 losses. Shin-Soo Choo leading it off. And Elvis Andrus, 3 more hits yesterday. How about a .420 average in his career at Progressive Park? Beltre, the DH today. Chirinos in the lineup doing the catching.
And they'll be going up against Corey Kluber, and they will have quite the mountain to climb. We'll take a look here at the arsenal of Corey Kluber. See the good fastball averaging 94 miles an hour. The slider sitting at around 84, the cutter and the change. Now we call it a slider because he kind of gets caught in between the slider and the curveball. You see the velocity there at 84. It's got slider speed, but it kind of has curveball break. So take a look at some of these numbers here as far as what people have done and hitters have done against the breaking pitch. And you see the 123 slugging. You see how it says a curveball up there. 0 home runs allowed. That's the best in Major League Baseball. 50 strikeouts on that breaking pitch. That's the second in Major League Baseball. And really, sometimes we use that phrase and just call it a breaking ball. And that's probably actually the better way to do it, because the velocity will tell you slider. You'll find certain websites that classify it as a slider, but the break on it is a curveball. We know this. It's nasty. It looks like a wiffle ball when he throws it.
Now he is obviously and empirically one of the best in the game. That's how he won his Cy Young a couple years ago, and has been nearly untouchable in the month of June this year. The Indians 41-36 coming into today's game. They have a half-game lead in the division over the Minnesota Twins. Kluber delivers up and away, ball one, and we are underway this afternoon in Cleveland. Chu with a .375 on base percentage this year. He's done a real nice job, particularly as the leadoff man. Chu, when batting leadoff, getting on at a .443 clip. Now he and a number of Rangers hitters have fallen on some hard times on this road trip. 1-2 the count, despite taking 2 of 3 in New York and a chance to split this 4-game series here. Some of the individual numbers on this road trip would make you wonder how they've done it. It's this ball foul, keeps the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
It's been a rough trip, and you'll see here on base percentage among leadoff hitters. And look at that job that Chu has done this year. .443 when he has been in the leadoff spot. But because he brings so many different facets to his game offensively, you can also hit him in some different spots. He's a great 2-hole hitter as well. We've seen some of that when Delino has led off this year.
One thing he always does is he gives you a good at bat. Fouls off a couple here from Kluber, allowing the rest of the guys to see a little bit of what Kluber has to offer early on this afternoon. A lunchtime start in Cleveland. Both teams really short nights, rolling out of bed and getting after it today. The 1-2 pitch called, strike 3. So Chu down looking to start the game. Well, that'll bring up Elvis Andrus, who, as we like to mention when we play here, hits very well in this ballpark. This was last night.
He's probably the one guy that doesn't want to leave Cleveland as we're headed to Chicago. You mentioned some guys that have been struggling. Elvis Andrus is not one of them. Big smiles here for him every time he comes to Cleveland. Just crushing the baseball. Shows tremendous power in this ballpark as well. It's like he becomes a completely different guy.
And look at those numbers in 34 games in this ballpark, a .420 career average. And he takes a strike from Corey Kluber. And to your point, you can't throw a blanket over everybody in this Rangers lineup on this trip, because Andrus has absolutely crushed it. And a whole 0-2, 11 for 25. That's a .440 average, 3 homers, a double. He's driven in 8 runs. He's scored 6 on this road trip. And look at those numbers since 1913. Nobody, including shoeless Joe Jackson, has had more success than Elvis at this ballpark, but he swings and misses and down on 3 pitches in the first inning.
It hasn't taken Corey Kluber long at all to establish a breaking ball. And for Elvis Andrus, he saw a couple of pretty nasty ones there, and a little bit of the smaller break ones that have a tendency to look a little bit more like a slider. You'll see the times where he'll get on top of it and he'll have a little bit more of the downward break, and that's where it will look like a curveball. But it is the same pitch, same grip. He knows how to manipulate it to get it to break differently and at different speeds.
Well, pretty good start for Kluber. Struck out Chu looking, got Andrus swinging, and now Nomar Mazara. And he pumps it in there for a strike. Mazara has handled Kluber pretty well and limited at bats against him. And a whole 0-2.
Well, let's take a look at the defense that will be behind Corey Kluber today if he decides to use him. He hasn't yet. Brantley, Zimmer, Geyer will be in the outfield. Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and Carlos Santana. It'll be Yan Gomes behind the plate, getting his second start in this 4-game series.
2-strike pitch. And this ball hit well, high in the air, deep right field. Geyer is back. He runs out of room. It is gone. Nomar Mazara with a big solo home run to right. And the Rangers draw first blood this afternoon in Cleveland.
How about Nomar Mazara kind of changing the tone here immediately after Corey Kluber struck out 2 to start this game, and Nomar Mazara gets a pitch that he can handle, and that was a breaking ball that just kind of floated in the middle of the plate. It was supposed to be the smaller, tighter one, and Nomar was all over this baseball, crushes it to right field.
So now 5 for 10 in his career against Corey Kluber, a guy he just apparently sees well. 1-0 Rangers, and it gets Beltre to the plate of the first inning. And Beltre hits one on the ground third base. Ramirez takes care of him to end the inning. But the Rangers with another quick start this afternoon in Cleveland. Nomar Mazara goes big fly to right. It's 1-0. With his 11th home run of the year, 1-0, and now the Cleveland Indians. I mentioned 5 games over 500. Kipnis, Lindor, and Brantley Edwin Encarnacion, the DH per usual batting cleanup. Jose Ramirez, Brandon Geyer gets the start in right field, and Yan Gomes catching today.
And then we'll take a look at Andrew Cashner. Welcome back to the rotation. He went on the DL on June 17th, and we're going to take a look at his arsenal, and that's the fastball heavy usage. Nearly 60%. That fastball will sit around 93 miles an hour. Lots of cutters, lots of changeups, and a few curveballs in there once in a while from Andrew Cashner.
All right, well, he's got his run. Now go take care of business. 1-0. And Jason Kipnis, the first man he faces, and he gets it right in there for strike 1. Cashner, 30 years old, his 13th start of the year. And for the first time, working with Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. So that'll be something we keep an eye on today. Bounces up there. It's 2-1 to Kipnis, a .239 hitter. Kipnis has struggled to a .294 on base percentage. Leading off again this afternoon, as he has in each of the last 2 games. Hits this ball well out to right field. Chu goes back but has room. And there's one away.
Take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Nomar Mazara saw him hit that home run and left today. Carlos Gomez, Chu in right. Joey Gallo getting a start at third base. This will be just his 4th start at third in June. Of course, we got Elvis, Odor, Mike Napoli at first, and Robinson Chirinos be behind the plate. But you see Joey Gallo there, and I think that kind of got the feeling that Jeff Bannister would try to keep him at first base as much as possible, but he does have that flexibility for those days that he wants to give Adrian Beltre's legs a day off out of the field. You can throw Joey over there, you can throw Pete Kozma over there. We saw Profar earlier in the season. Lots of different options. But with Napoli at first and Adrian Beltre DHing, that means Joey Gallo goes over to third.
Now Francisco Lindor, and he takes 2 quick strikes from Cashner. Lindor 253 average, 14 home runs though to go along with 21 doubles. One of the bright young superstars in the game, Francisco Lindor, last year an all-star for the Indians, and whether or not he wins the voting this year or is there as a reserve, you got to figure he will be in Miami. The 1-2 pitch, and he strikes out swinging. So 2 gone quickly for Cashner.
You don't see a lot of swings and misses from Andrew Cashner, but this is a perfectly located changeup down and away. You see the movement. Francisco Lindor swings right over the top. That's great execution against the lefty, and that's something that Andrew Cashner is going to have to deal with. Any pitcher that comes in faces this Cleveland Indians team. 3 natural lefties, 3 more switch hitters that will be batting left-handed, so he'll have to do a little bit of work. That changeup could become very important. So far, it looks pretty good.
Now Michael Brantley, his average has dipped below 300. It's at 299. Brantley 3 for 8 in this series. 5 home runs for him, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1. It's the 57th game for Michael Brantley, his 57th start. All of them in left field, and he hits this ball hard over first, and that is a fair ball into the right field corner. Brantley will cruise to second in there easily with a 2-out double.
I just mentioned, of course, the lefties that are going to be in this lineup, and Andrew Cashner tried to elevate the fastball up and in. That's a good spot to go to most lefties. That one ended up finishing a little bit more belt. We know this. Your average left-handed hitter, very good on fastballs down and in, down middle. Andrew Cashner unable to elevate that one the way that he wanted. Michael Brantley put a very nice swing on it. Good looking swing from Michael Brantley when he is healthy.
So a man in scoring position for Edwin Encarnacion, Indians designated hitter. And he hits one off the handle over to the first base side. Napoli, the only man over there, but he'll pick it up, go to the bag himself, and the inning is done. So we've played 1, and the Rangers lead by 1. take a look again at how they scored that first run.
Well, this is a big deal because this is a breaking ball from Corey Kluber. Now it's a smaller one. It didn't have nearly the break that we see from him at times, but it is a curveball nevertheless. Nevertheless. You know what I meant.
Yep.
But first breaking ball that has landed in the seats against Corey Kluber this year.
That's first earned run he's allowed this month. And the breaking ball, he's done a great job of keeping it in the yard until today. 9th home run in the series for the Rangers. As Odor bats 5th today, been batting 7th the last couple of nights. Good numbers against Corey Kluber, including a couple of home runs. So a spot maybe to move him up on the order and do some damage today. And he's ahead 2-0. Odor yesterday had a huge hit in the 9th inning with 2 outs, drove one up the middle for a base hit. It scored a run, and it got the potential tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. Unfortunately, the game would end with Odor at first base. But a real good effort by the Rangers. They scored a couple of runs in the 9th and gave themselves a chance against a very good closer in Cody Allen. So maybe Odor builds on that today as he pops this one down the third base side foul and up into the stands.
Yeah, we know this is obviously an early game, and some of the guys have been struggling so far on this road trip and coming for a day game. You can be dragging a little bit, but if you finish your night with a nice hit, an important hit off of a very good closer in Cody Allen, sure, you may feel a little bit better about how you're swinging the bat now. It doesn't get any easier, of course, when you have Corey Kluber.
But this one line to center field, that's a base hit. So Odor continues what he started late last night, a single in this 2nd inning, lead man aboard.
It's encouraging too, because both of those hits that we've seen now in back-to-back at-bats for Rougned Odor have been up the middle, right? We know that he's a pull power guy. We know sometimes he can get in trouble with the swings and misses, but that's a breaking ball that hung up very similar to what we saw from Nomar Mazar. It stayed up and away. It wasn't the intent, and instead of trying to get too big and hit that ball into right field, he does a nice job of slapping it into center field. I don't think Rougned Odor is necessarily going to change his approach in a big way, but those little things like that certainly matter.
So he's on now for Carlos Gomez. Kluber with the long set and fires in a strike to Carlos, who was not in the lineup the last 2 days. He did pinch hit last night. Talked to him this morning, says he feels great, ready to go. His back had been bothering him, the reason why he was out of the lineup for a couple of days. Comes up empty here. It's 0-2.
I thought I also heard him say, "Stop talking to me." Was that true when you?
Right. It was just, if I told you I'm okay, will you go away? I think is how the conversation went. Had a pinch hit last night in the 8th inning.
One of the great guys on the team, Carlos Gomez, great personality. We joke. He's always friendly, treats us well. Great energy he brings every day, even for a 12-10 game.
I will say that is today, boy, he was upbeat, energetic, as always. We do come to expect that. But I'll tell you, you get him in a clubhouse around the ball field, and he is instantly ready to go.
There is good loud and there's bad loud in the clubhouse, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. He's good loud, good energy. No double. Oh, excuse me, one double play only this season he has hit into.
It's on a 1-2 and fouls it off. All right, so Odor at first with a leadoff single. For a little bit more on him, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, Jeff Bannister talked about Rougned Odor's last night and said, look, he had hard hit balls. You can't control where they go, and Rugi's one of those guys that he doesn't necessarily need to see the results. It's about the feel at the plate, and if he gets into that groove, the results will start to come.
That's absolutely right. We throw that phrase around a lot, and sometimes it sounds cliche, but trusting the process, doing what you know how to do. Right, Rougned Odor trusting the work that he's doing in between the tee work, the batting practice, everything else. And when you see hard outs, good contact, don't change anything. Right, the process is working. Those hits are going to fall in over time. Sometimes you go through periods where you are hitting the ball well, they're turning into outs. Then you start not hitting it so well, and then it looks like a bunch of outs. But you got to continue to trust that. Just because it ends up in somebody's glove does not mean that it was a bad at bat.
Well, he's got a pretty good lead now. Not going. The 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. So Gomez strikes out. Third strikeout this afternoon for Kluber. And it brings up Robinson Chirinos. No big surprise here. Our TXU Energy power player to watch is Robinson Chirinos. How about that? An RBI basically every 4 at bats.
That was incredible. We talked about his home run per at bat prowess and everything that's been going on there with him, but also driving in runs. I think he was what, 1 every 8 or so. It's an RBI 1 every 4. He's doing a great job.
Kluber starts him off with a fastball for a strike. And Chirinos homers in at least once in every 8.4 at bats. That's pretty good.
And they've been big too, right? A lot of important
Yes,
home runs along the way, not just, you know, kind of a token home run. You're up by 5. A lot of those have been in big spots.
Pretty good move that time by Kluber, but Odor just back in there.
Kind of a delayed call here. I just kind of wonder if Pat Hoberg wanted to get a little bit of a longer look or give himself some time to think about it.
Rookie with another lead. Odor does have 7 steals this year and 11 tries. And then we'll throw over again. Gomes, though, is a tough one on which to steal. He does a very good job behind the plate. And he was setting up on that last one. He was setting up outside. They were looking for probably a fastball away, something hard away in case Odor tries to run.
That's also a great pitch for the backdoor pick, right? When you have a right-handed hitter up, you got to have a great view. Gomes decided he wanted to throw behind Odor. Fastball is a good one to do it on.
Rookie with a good lead. He's going. And there's a swing and a miss. And Gomes lost it on the transfer. So Odor with his 8th stolen base of the year.
And you know, this is the one starter on this staff in Corey Kluber that's had a hard time. We just talked about Yan Gomes and how good he has been. You steal off the pitcher. You don't steal off the catcher. And he's done an excellent job of throwing out 47% of base stealers. But Kluber, even though he had missed some time, was tied for 5th in the American League with stolen bases allowed. He has actually allowed 10 of 14, now make it 11 of 15. So he is the one guy that has struggled on the staff. That's why he was throwing over as much as he was.
Chirinos takes away, and it is 1-2 to the Rangers catcher. So Odor out there in scoring position. We're talking about Chirinos' ability to drive in runs. He has been almost unthinkably good. I mean, he wants 1 in every 4 at bats. So that means he's going to get 1 today. Might as well do it. Might as well do it here, I guess, if you're choosing.
If you're going to get greedy, why not 2 here?
I think that as well. 1-2 pitch, and he goes down swinging. 4th strikeout for Kluber. So now Mike Napoli. Napoli with 1 hit in his last 18 at bats, 10 strikeouts during that stretch, so it's been a struggle for him.
It doesn't get any easier going up against Kluber, his former teammate. He struck out 52 batters in those last 5 starts since coming out to DL in this month, to only 6 walks. He's just been locked in.
One of the best in the American League. And certainly on as good a run as anybody right now in the American League. Odor running. Nobody covers third. No throw offered. And with 2 outs, Odor legitimately steals third base. I mean, no one even considered that an option.
No, Jose Ramirez didn't even bother. Yan Gomes didn't even bother. And that's on Corey Kluber not keeping Rougned Odor close.
Wow, a generous strike for Kluber. 2-1 the count. So Odor had the base hit. He stole second. He's stolen third.
It's been part of the frustration, I think, here for Mike Napoli. He's felt like some borderline pitches, especially in 2-strike counts, have been called strikes, and looked a little bit irritated by Rod Drake's call there too.
You would understand why. 3-1 now. He's had a couple of at-bats in the series where he's bent down to start taking off the armor on his left leg, thinking he had ball 4, only to find out that it was called strike 3. Some have been, you know, borderline. You could see going either way. Some really haven't been that close. And he takes.
Oh, my
there
goodness.
it is again. Right there's a prime example.
Listen, he's going to lose it soon. You know, struggling a little bit offensively. Mike Napoli's a pretty even-keeled guy, but you can only do this so many times to a guy who knows the strike zone as well as Mike Napoli does, and he gets frustrated because it's a tough at bat against Kluber, and he feels like 2 balls have already been called strikes.
3-2. And he chases strike 3 and not at all pleased with it. Kluber strikes out the side. Rangers leave a man at third. We played 1.5.
Unlimited baseball break, and that's brought to you by T-Mobile. And let's take a look at this Yankee game from yesterday. Where are we? Oh, no, I'm sorry. My bad. What am I doing? Pay attention. There we go.
Let's take a look at the top stories.
Do I read that or you do that? Here we go. Aaron Judge, 6 home runs this season with exit velocity over 115 miles an hour. That's the most in Major League Baseball. How about the Twins? Got any theories to this?
No, I mean,
they're all about the road.
Yeah, the concrete dried out up there, and things have changed for the Twins. I don't know.
Made them sleepy at home.
Man.
I mean, it's supposed to be the other way around, especially for a young team, right? Hey, get on the road a little bit. Hey, you know, maybe once in a while. But for a late night, come rolling in. Maybe don't have such a great day. The opposite for the Twins, and then also very important all-star voting ends tonight.
The funny thing about that Twin situation is that the team, the Rangers playing today, these Cleveland Indians, they're in a very similar boat as Ramirez falls behind 1-2. I mean, the Indians at home a losing record, 17-21. On the road, they're 24-15. And the best part about that is, of course, Cleveland has a half-game lead on the Twins right now. Two teams with that real weird inverse home road record. The Indians swept Minnesota at Minnesota because neither team can play well at home. And then Minnesota came here and swept the Indians here. as Ramirez swings and misses, and that strikeout starts the second. All right, now this is our big story, CJ.
I got excited. It was so big I wanted to do it right away. But how about this? The Dodgers and the Angels going head-to-head in that freeway series, and Cameron Maybin strikes out, originally does not run, then starts to run. Then Yasmani Grandal throws the ball away. Ben Revere scores, and there's your walk-off win. I mean, Utley missed it as well behind him. Just a sloppy play. But what was very interesting as well in the series was there was a monstrous LA Dodger flag out in right field in Anaheim. And some Dodger fans, I guess it snuck in. And there's some talk about Dodger fans taking over that stadium a little bit last night to, I don't know how much of a rivalry it really is, but maybe getting there a little bit more right now.
That was a bizarre finish to that one last night.
I just can't get to the big story fast enough.
Yeah, you were excited about that one. That's all right. Brandon Guyer in the 1-1 pitch swings over the top. Something off speed from Cashner. It's 1-2. Cashner with a couple of strikeouts already today, and that's usually not a real big part of his game. 33 strikeouts coming in and 69 and a third innings pitched. The 1-2. Guyer with a chopper over the mound. Andrews charges, throws, and takes care of Guyer. 2 away.
And what's more ironic about that too, when you look at the Indians, they're a contact team. They put the ball in play. Hey, let's go here. Let's celebrate the 4th of July with America's pastime. Head out to the ballpark when your Rangers take on the Boston Red Sox. That game will be at 7 p.m. You can enjoy 4th of July fireworks after the game, presented by Honda. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com.
Well, 2 outs here, and here is Carlos Santana. Switch hitter playing first base today and fouls off strike 1. Santana 3 for 11 in this series. He's scored 3 runs. It's been an interesting series to say the least. That one just missed. And most of that really going back to the opening game Monday night, where that man, Terry Francona, had to lead the game early. Went actually taken to a hospital here locally, and Brad Mills, the man to his left, took over as manager. Mills then would manage the next day as well. Francona, we come to learn, is okay. They're continuing to monitor him. He's just scuffling a little bit right now.
His blood pressure would go down and his heart rate would go up because of it.
So he's trying to take it a little bit easy. One of the, all-time great guys of the game. Great manager here, a lot of success here, of course, in Boston. 2-2 the count on Carlos Santana.
A lot of people forget that he managed the Philadelphia Phillies as well. I had him as a bench coach with the Detroit Tigers in 1996. Just one of the real good guys of the game. Well respected. It's surprising the blood pressure was low. He never gets up about anything. As even keels they come.
Line drive caught by Odor. His blood pressure, I don't know if it raised, lowered, whatever, but he's showing his hops again. That's the second time we've seen him make a play like that. Unbelievable.
And he loves talking about it as well. And here goes Rougned Odor up and in the glove. And a 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Cashner.
we head to the third. And the Rangers also excited to bring you the first ever Game of Thrones theme night. Wednesday, July 5th, Rangers and Red Sox. Now the ticket comes with a limited edition House Bannister bobblehead. Plus, you can take your picture on the Iron Throne. Tickets must be purchased through TexasRangers.com/Game of Thrones. All right. So to the third inning we go. Joey Gallo starting things off in this third inning. Gallo batting ninth this afternoon. 20 home runs for Joey. 40 RBIs. And a staggering 105 strikeouts. It's a part of the conversation all the time. Both game wide, but also specifically with Joey Gallo. You can't avoid the talk about it. Homers once every 12 at bats. That's that big power, game-changing power that he brings every day. And you just live with the fact that he is going to punch out. And he is maybe bigger yet is he has really come to terms with that.
It's important. He understands his strengths. He understands because of those strengths what also comes along. The swings and misses at times. And he's talked about. I like what he said about just don't try to put me in a box and compare me to somebody else. And that's not exactly what he said, but that was kind of the point of what he said. He said, I'm not like anybody else. I'm not Adam Dunn or other guys that have big high strikeout guys that have big power. I'm me. I'm Joey Gallo. This is kind of the way it goes. And it's not to say that he's not always working. He works his tail off, trying to improve things to some degree. But again, it's much like Rougned Odor. You just don't want the power to go away. You don't want him to change his swing where all of a sudden the home runs go down. I don't think it's worth it.
Big open stance at that left side. Kluber has run the count full and the payoff on the way. That's high. 33rd time that Gallo has taken a walk, which is also pretty good. And so he is on to start the third inning. For a little more on Joey Gallo, let's check in again with Emily.
Yeah, and much to CJ's point, Joey says, look, I'm not ever going to be an average guy, but he said if I can produce in RBIs and OPS and have those good numbers, that's all I'm concerned about. He's not concerned about batting average or anything else like that. He said if I can bring runs in and if I can have a high OPS, I'll feel like I'm doing my job, and those are the stats that suit my game and the player that I am.
Makes sense, and we have so many great numbers in different ways that we track the game.
Snap throw back behind, and they said they got him. That one, initially I was going to say might need some review, but the way Gallo reacted, I'm not so sure. And it looked like he may have jammed his right hand into the base.
Jeff Patterson's going to say, hold on a second, we'd like to at least take a look before we make a decision. It's late calls that come in at first base so far today. Let's take a look here. Ortiz is in the way, and that's why they got him, is because he ended up sliding right into Carlos Santana's hand, essentially blocking the back. He would have gotten back there in plenty of time, but because he was going to hit his foot because of the footwork there by Santana, and not necessarily the greatest of footwork either.
He was trying to avoid putting his hand right under those cleats. That's a pretty good reaction, all things considered. His hand was heading right underneath those spikes, and that's incredible presence of mind to move out of the way.
Was that throw that high that Carlos Santana had to jump?
Well, no, I don't think
it seemed like it. Like the way that he came up and then the foot back down. That it's not great footwork. And had Joey Gallo gotten hurt there, that would have been his fault. It would have been Santana's fault.
Well, pickoff that goes 2-3 clears the bases, but now Chu working in a favorable count here, 2-1. So a tough break. Next pitch, Chu sends it high in the air, center field. Zimmer, plenty of room out there, waiting. 2 gone. All right, time for a Chevy game break. And the man working the morning shift today, we send it back to John Radigan. Yeah, that was one. Thanks, John. One that looked like it was going to be whoever had the ball last was going to win. That was crazy. Runs back and forth all night, but despite what have been horrific numbers lately for the Astros rotation, they continue to win ball games. And I think when you look at that team, there's been a lot of talk about the Houston Astros. They just have a way of covering up occasional weaknesses and stretches where one part of the game doesn't work out for them. They've been able to work around it. 1-1 pitch to Andrews, and he takes it outside, 2-1.
There's no doubt when you have a great offense, you can cover mistakes, whether they be on the field or from your pitching staff. You're a team that's one that has to try to manufacture runs. If your pitching is not on, it's pretty difficult to win.
Well, this goes after that one. It's 2-2. Andrews with a strikeout in the first inning. Had 3 hits yesterday, including a home run. Just another day at the office for Elvis, especially when it comes to playing here. Kluber already with 10 swings and misses. Nearly got one there. It's a full count. Five strikeouts for Kluber through the first 2 2/3, but he does trail 1-0. Infield is back, outfield straight away. Bouncer left side of the infield. Ramirez charges, and that will do it. Rangers come up empty in the third. We played 2.5. 1-0 Texas. Come out for an autograph session with Robinson Chirinos. That is going to be Wednesday, July 5th, 10:30 a.m. Go to the Whataburger at 125 Sycamore School Road in Fort Worth. While you're there, you can sign up to be a Whataburger Water fan. You can also win tickets to a Rangers game as well as Whataburger for a year. Just go to TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
125
Sycamore.
Chirinos will be there. Okay, bottom of the third, Yan Gomes. And first pitch swinging, loops it out towards center field, drops in, base hit. Second hit of the day for the Indians. Didn't get a whole lot on it, but just enough.
Was not hit very well, as you see Andrew Cashner getting that pitch in on the bat of Yan Gomes, but he does enough to bloop it into the outfield. And even though Andrew's been very good with ground balls at a 50% rate, 5% above the league average, which is 45, and 10 ground ball double plays, which has also been very good. He's got Bradley Zimmer, who we know can run extremely well.
And Zimmer at 291. And has not been doubled up yet this year. It's been impressive to see this young man play. That's always part of the fun when you head into a town and maybe see a new young player on the rise with a ball club. This guy really impressive. We've seen him handle the bat pretty well. 3 for 11 with a double in this series. But man, the way he goes after balls in center field. Very smooth and graceful out there. Covers a lot of ground. Extremely fast.
He's done a very nice job. It's 110 at bats so far for him. He's got 4 home runs, 8 doubles. All good things happening there. 291 batting average, and then the on base has been pretty good. I mean, for a rookie, 366. You'll take that all day long. So, you know, he has to go through basically what Tyler Naquin went through a year ago here in Cleveland. Was wire to wire. What happens? Can the league adjust? Can they figure you out? And is there a hole in that swing that can get exploited? That's what takes a little bit of time. Even though the information flows a little bit faster, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find those true holes and the best way to attack a rookie hitter.
Cashner gets that one in there for a strike. It's a full count. Some of the fans barking about it. I was down there batting practice yesterday watching Zimmer, and obviously, I mean, big guy, 6'5", he's hitting balls out of the yard all over. But you can tell too, I mean, big broad shoulders, 6'5", and he's not even come close to filling out yet. There's a lot more power to come with him. A slow chopper and quickly over to first, but they're going to say not in time. Not much more Odor could have done with it. Got rid of it as fast as he could, but as we mentioned, Zimmer can move.
Yeah, we'll see here, and this was a close one. It's hard to tell. You get a little distracted by the shin guard that comes flying off as he crosses, but probably not enough here to get this thing overturned. We'll see. Jeff Bannister now starting to come out, and he actually may want to challenge this. You're right, though. There's not a lot Odor could do. He got rid of it as quick as he possibly could. And he's going to the second base umpire. Yeah, that's a good look. It's so hard because you see that shin guard coming off. So this might be a little bit different. I'm curious why Jeff Bannister's going to the second base umpire. What do you got?
I think he's concerned that Odor was bumped by Gomes going to second base, and that an interference call might be appropriate. We'll
There's
take
a
look
nice
again.
clean look at this one. Let's take a look first here to see if he's safe. Yeah, that one's not one you're going to challenge. There was something else that he saw in the replay, or wondering about whether or not there was some contact on the part of the runner. It's the runner's obligation to stay out of the way. He's not satisfied with the answer that he got from the second base umpire, Jerry Davis, who was the crew chief.
Yeah, and we saw obstruction on the last homestand. And that's where a fielder gets in the way of a base runner. Interference is the opposite.
And you saw Rugi even flinch there a little bit, almost like he was trying to avoid the runner in that situation because he felt like he was going right at him. And I think it's certainly a fair thing to ask about now. Well, if that's because we talked about that, that is not something, right, that you can challenge.
So now Gomes at second, Zimmer at first, and Kipnis fouls off strike one.
Because it's basically a judgment call. So interference or obstruction is something that you cannot challenge.
So Gomes with a little butterfly of a base hit into center field. Zimmer on the slow chopper gets an infield hit. Frustrating start to this inning for Cashner, and he runs this one in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kipnis, another Cleveland Indian who is yet to be doubled up this year. So if you're thinking about that as an angle, and you are oftentimes with Cashner, it would be a little unusual to see him get Kipnis in this spot. Nice play by a fan on the foul ball to count 1 and 2.
And you're right. You got to get to the middle of the lineup before you start seeing some of these double plays. Jose Ramirez leads this team with 10, and you get to Edwin Encarnacion's got 9. Yan Gomes, who just hit, has 7. Santana's got 7. So you're going to get past Kipnis and Lindor before you start thinking about a double play.
Inside, that one gets away. The runners both advance, and whatever dreams of a ground ball double play one might have had disappear with that. Gomes to third, Zimmer to second base.
It's surprising. This one went down as a wild pitch, and you watch this ball. I don't think it hit the dirt. It did not. I think this might be more of a pass ball on Robinson Chirinos. It's one thing when you bounce the curveball, it's got to be a wild pitch every single time. But this ball never hit the ground. It was actually in the air. Now it's swept a little bit more than Robinson was expecting. And as he went to turn and backhand, he was unable to catch it cleanly. But more of a pass ball for me than a wild pitch.
That might be changed before the day's done. This one lifted out to right field. Chu is back, comes in on it, makes the catch, tagging at third Gomes, but he won't try it. So he holds third base. Kipnis flies out to right field, one away.
Well, certainly the right choice there by Yan Gomes. Chu has got a great arm. It's an accurate arm. He showed it off a little bit there, and especially as you're getting to your 2, 3, and potentially 4-hole hitters, you do not want to get thrown out at home with just that one out. So wise choice by Gomes.
Now one very big out here is Lindor, who struck out in the first inning. Gallo up on the edge of the infield grass at third base, just in case Lindor would try something here. Napoli plays it a little deeper at first. But one important factor here is that Gomes, the man at third base, doesn't run real well. Check swing. Did not go.
And check this out. I ran across this number, some research on Andrew Cashner. After 0-2 counts, batters are hitting .282, which is a very high number. Right? And we know he's not a big strikeout guy, so maybe that's part of it. After 2-0 counts, when he falls behind, the batting average against is .179. I think he goes in the complete opposite direction of what you would expect.
Bouncer right side of the infield, and Odor will take the out at first. So they concede Gomes. It's a 1-1 game on the RBI ground out by Lindor.
And I think that's a perfect example of how Andrew Cashner can make that happen. He misses with a couple of changeups away to Rougned Odor, gets him in swing mode, and to Francisco Lindor, gets him in swing mode in a 2-0 count, and then throws something down and away and is able to get him to roll over and hit that ground ball. Now it's an 0-for-1, even though it drove the run in. It's just kind of interesting to see how he does that. He's never trying to intentionally pitch behind the count. That's not what he wants to do. But he does have the kind of stuff where he is usually getting weak contact and can get himself some outs when he's in those hitter-friendly counts. 3 changeups in a row. He threw it to Lindor.
Well, Zimmer at third base now, but there are 2 away. And here's Michael Brantley. Brantley doubled in the first inning. So the Rangers run came on a Mazzara homer in the first inning. Cleveland has just tied it on an RBI ground out here in the third. It's been really interesting, the completely different styles that these two offenses bring into this series. The Indians, I mean, they just beat you to death with base hits and long, really good at bats. Just put the ball in play.
And every type can be successful. You can hit your way to a division title. I believe in that. We've seen it happen where teams that are more powerful with their offense than their pitching can win a division title. And then we see also in the postseason where sometimes your contact teams, I think looking at the Indians right now, they're a great contact team and a pretty good chance, in my opinion, to advance with the great starting pitching that they have because they're going to put the ball in play against good pitchers. Ooh.
Boy. That's a tough miss for Andrew Kashner. Puts Brantley on, and you can see not real pleased with it.
No, not at all. When you bear down and you make a pitch, and the pitch is missed, it's pretty frustrating. And we saw it on the flip side. And even though that finished just below the zone, that crossed the plate, a strike. And so Andrew Kashner, I think, is justified in his anger. We also saw it earlier with Mike Napoli, getting a little bit frustrated at some calls the other way. And it's not to say that the umpires are against the Rangers or anything like that, but there has seemed like there's been a few calls so far today that have gone against them as opposed to for them.
So now runners on the corners with 2 outs. Torino signaling to the infield as they prepare for Edwin Encarnacion. Well, Encarnacion's numbers it's taken a little while, but they've gotten back to where one would expect for him. Dangerous designated hitter. 17 homers, a .263 average for Encarnacion. It was a very slow start for him this year, one of a 3-year deal that he has with the Indians.
This should be a pretty good matchup for Andrew Kashner because he's such a great ground ball pitcher. We talked about Encarnacion yesterday and where he is with ground balls against right-handed pitchers. Still 173 batting average against.
Torinos will throw it to the plate, and the tag, they're going to say got around it. Kashner had it in time, but Zimmer just did get around the tag, touches home plate, and it's 2-1 Cleveland.
A lot of frustration here from Andrew Kashner. We'll take a look at how he did, and you see here the tag. He was there in time, but it looks like the right foot of Zimmer was able to get in there ahead of Andrew Kashner.
I don't know. You know, you look back at that and
let's watch here. I want to see real quick how Andrew Kashner's reaction was. And you see him there. He looked and then took off. Just a little bit late, maybe, on the reaction. I think he definitely got his foot in there. And Kashner right now is really frustrated. You see him there kind of taking his time. He wasn't happy with the call on ball 4. Felt like he got there in time. He was justified on the ball 4 call. Probably not on that one. Zimmer was able to get his right foot in. But now it becomes about managing those emotions, taking a deep breath right now, working on Encarnacion, who is a very dangerous hitter, no doubt about it. I think Andrew Kashner has somewhat of an advantage against him. You still got to be very careful. You don't want that anger to turn into an overthrow and a bad pitch that you leave up in the zone.
Well, it's 1-1. And that ball lifted out to left center field. Gomez shading his eyes. And the inning is done, but a frustrating 3rd inning for Andrew Kashner. Gives away a couple of runs, leaves a man in scoring position, and he's a little hot headed to that dugout. It's a 2-1 game.
Well, he absolutely is, and it's because of this ball in the dirt. He thought he got there in time. Home plate umpire said he did not.
with the 1-run lead. Take a look at our Kubota power stats. Corey Kluber, how about those strikeouts right there? 839, third most in baseball since the start of the 2014 season.
He has been a dominant strikeout pitcher. We've seen it already here this afternoon with his 5 strikeouts through 3 innings, including striking out the side in the 2nd inning. But Nomar Mazara is up, and Nomar took him deep in his first at bat, which is the most. Top 4. How about Max Scherzer just boat racing everybody else with his 963 strikeouts?
Well, as you mentioned, Mazara got him in the first inning. Mazara has had great success against Kluber in his career. 5 for 10 against him. And he's ahead here 2-1. Mazara's first home run against Kluber in those tinted bats. And now finds himself in a very favorable spot at 3-1.
And we mentioned earlier as well that it was the first curveball that has left the ballpark against Corey Kluber. He's got a good one. He hung that one, and I'm not seeing him hang another.
Full count now, so it'll be Mazara, Beltre, Odor in the 4th inning. Kluber with 5 strikeouts so far and 1 walk allowed. Kluber, this is just his 12th start of the year. 6 wins, 2 losses, a .324 earned run average. Good breeze blowing out all of a sudden. Really picked up quite a bit. 3-2 pitch. Bouncer second base. Kipnis is there. Wind dated ground out 4-3 starts the 4th inning. All right, this is the final game in this 4-game series, and so looking ahead at our AT&T matchup tomorrow, first of 3 over the weekend on the south side of Chicago. Adrian Beltre taking at least 450 career home runs into Chicago. Avisail Garcia, boy, he has been good this year. .318 average, 5th best in the league. They had a little rain there last night. Did you see any of that?
I did not. I'm kind of hoping they made a trade or 2 before we got there. People talking about David Robertson, their closer. Do they really need him right now? Jose Quintana, even Todd Frazier playing 3rd base, and he's a free agent at the end of the year. This is a last place team that does not expect to be competitive. I have to mention they've been getting a few calls. They'll get a few more, but we'll get the White Sox. That roster still intact.
Yeah, so you're advocating, you know, if you're going to rebuild, get after it. Start this weekend.
Do it at least before we get there. And they have been. They moved on, of course, from Chris Sale, Adam Eaton. They did great in those trades. We'll talk about that a bunch, I'm sure, when we get up there. I think they almost got a little greedy because they did so well. They just expected to continue to cash in big time with some prospects.
Beltre takes high, 1-2 the count. Adrian grounded out in the 1st inning. Ball hit down to 3rd. Jose Ramirez was there. It was a routine ground ball out, but Beltre yesterday in the 6th inning, it could have been a game-changing ball in down that 3rd base line, and Ramirez made a spectacular play. This one out to center, and Zimmer is there. 2 gone. Well, they're expecting some weather in Chicago. They're expecting some stormy weather here in Cleveland later this afternoon. And you can see that something has changed here pretty rapidly, especially when you look at the trees out in center field and the flags out there.
There's some sway out there in center.
There is. The word earlier on was that it wouldn't really hit here until late afternoon, perhaps the end of the ball game. But one never knows, CJ. That's the thing about the weather. You never know.
You think we catch some heat on Twitter? Try being a weatherman. These guys wear it.
It's tough. Every day's a guess. 1-strike pitch. And this one bounced to the right side of second base. The shortstop Lindor is there, and it completes a 1-2-3 inning for Kluber, who seems to be in cruise control. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer now during the Ford Summer Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas.
Bottom of the fourth inning, the Indians are leading the Rangers by a score of 2-1. And fans, who doesn't want to take a trip to Margaritaville on Friday, July 7th, when the Rangers host the Angels? Pre-game tailgate party with live music, cold drinks, and also some Margaritaville-inspired Rangers t-shirts and post-game fireworks set to Jimmy Buffett's music. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com/theme-nights. Dang, they got an out before I finished that?
At least it wasn't a home run.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Ramirez with a roll out to second base and a nice quick beginning to this bottom of the fourth for Andrew Cashner. Now Brandon Guyer. Guyer grounded out to short his first time up. Not a real good year offensively for Guyer. Took a low on base, very low batting average, the one home run. He did, however, in this series pick up his first walk. It came in the fifth inning in Monday's game. And that was his first walk of the year against 16 strikeouts.
He gets that inconsistent playing time, so it makes it a little bit difficult for Brandon Guyer to put up numbers, understandably so. They brought him in over from Tampa Bay basically to play against lefties. That is what he has done over the course of his career. He's a .281 career hitter versus lefties with 18 home runs, and flip around to the other side, just .235 against right-handers with 6 home runs. So it's kind of a role player. Get him in there against lefties, but he didn't see one, and so I think Terry Francona was trying to keep him sharp.
Chopper shortstop. Andrews takes care of him. 2 away in the fourth inning.
You know you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on MLB.Premium on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you get a free subscription to AtBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Make sure you visit MLB.TV for details.
Well, 2 gone, and here is Carlos Santana, and he's showing bunt. Takes a strike. Santana lined out of the second inning, 0 for 1. Cashner pretty sharp so far today. You look back at the damage in the third inning. Gave up 2 runs. One of them came on an RBI groundout. The other on a wild pitch. There were 2 big wild pitches in the inning. But both runners who scored, one was Yan Gomes, started the inning with the softest little flare to center field you can imagine, and then Zimmer, who reached on an infield hit that traveled a good, I don't know, 90 feet.
It was a bad luck inning for Andrew Cashner. So you had the couple of weak base hits, then you had that ground out from Francisco Lindor, and then the Brantley walk. He was upset about that pitch, a wild pitch. Really went into that inning. So just some bad luck. It's going to happen. He was frustrated by it, but he's bounced back nicely here.
And misses there with ball 4. Santana walks with 2 out for the Indians. So they do have a base runner. Gets Yan Gomes back to the plate for a second time today. Gomes came in hitting .221. That base hit earlier. Average jumps just a little bit more. Talking earlier about how this Indians team has been scoring runs in this series, and that is to say, without home runs, none so far. This is the 4th game of the series. They have had so many opportunities, though, with runners on base, and it's in stark contrast to what the Rangers have done. Now look at the batting averages, massive spread there. You can add a home run for the Rangers today. They're 9th. Indians have outscored the Rangers fairly comfortably. The amazing number there, 48 at bats with runners in scoring position.
That is amazing. And 21 runs scored on 0 home runs also jumps out as well. We know they're not a power team, but you're right. The 48 at bats with runners in scoring position is a big one. And you see the difference in batting average without home runs. It's a different kind of team, different kind of offense. But one I think that certainly can sustain over the long term. I mean, they're doing great, obviously, right now in the division. But again, I think it plays in the postseason as well. If they can get there, I think they're absolutely capable of having another World Series run, as long as they're healthy.
Smells a little bit more like the Royals of a couple years ago that won the World Series by just slapping the baseball all over the field.
The difference for the Indians and why they're a better team on paper when you look at that Kansas City Royals team from 2015 is they have dominant starting pitching. Right? The Royals didn't have that. That was always the big question. How are you going to be able to win with the starters that they had? As you see the Indians clinging to a half-a-game lead right now over the Minnesota Twins. But the Royals have the dominant bullpen. The Royals have or the Indians have that too.
Yeah,
it's really unbelievable.
Yeah, the bullpen makeup seems similar. Much better starting pitching for this Indians team when healthy. And they will address that as well. I mean, I think the plan is for them to go find another starter. Everyone's plan is to go find more starting pitching, but see if they can get it done.
The issue there is that the couple of impact starters that you think might be available are playing on teams that we're not expected to be contenders, which are contenders right now. Jason Vargas is having a really nice year. He's on the Royals. Ervin Santana, a guy that you would think potentially could be moved. He's sitting there on the Minnesota Twins. They're certainly not going to trade him within the division if they think they have a chance to hang on. So it comes down to really digging in deep.
3-2 runner goes, bouncer right side, and Odor takes care of it. Gomes retired, and the inning is done. We will go to the 5th inning this afternoon in Cleveland. Indians by 1.
The Rangers by a score of 2-1, and we're going to go in the Wayback Machine, so we got to show you guys this. As you're looking at the scoreboard here in Cleveland. How about 1997? That's Orel Hershiser against Mark McGwire, and watch where this baseball lands. Now, back in the day, that entire board up there was not a scoreboard. The biggest home runs, 523 feet. Now you see it now, the big beautiful scoreboard that they have here at Progressive Field, but I gotta say that was what, probably somewhere right around there, Dave, would you say?
Yeah.
Look at the fanciness of the spotlight. But just an absolute bomb off of now Dodgers analyst Orel Hershiser. Mark McGwire could hit them a long, long way. When he went through that whole run, spent a little time in the National League, 98, the Astros, when they were a National League team. People will come out and watch him take batting practice. Even like a Poku go in there, sneak out. Oh, McGuire's hitting, and just watch him do ridiculous things to baseballs in batting practice. And Brad Osnos, who was a teammate of mine at the time, now a manager for the Tigers, he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm watching McGwire." He goes, "Why are you doing that?" It's pretty amazing. He goes, "It's like looking into the sun." He's like, "Don't do it, man. You're going to have to try to get him out later. You're going to be completely psyched out," which I was.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of it and you look away.
I think I only have one at bat against him, and he knocked Derek Bell over with a line drive that he hit to right field. 0 for 1.
You got him.
I'm sure he talks about that a lot.
So when you were there, so that was 98. Was that?
I think that was the year. Oh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was the year, right? Was he in St. Louis then or no? I should probably know that.
No, that was the year that he and Sosa had the great battle.
Yeah.
As Gomez takes strike 3, and there's one out in the 5th inning. Here's Robinson Chirinos. We're going to get back in the very recent machine.
All the HD TV you can handle.
Yep.
After that SD home run. Robinson certainly on a very nice run here as well. Swinging a hot bat. All extra base hits for him recently, including those home runs. He's crushing the baseball. But yeah, that was 98, so that was the year I was in Houston. He was with the St. Louis Cardinals the year he hit 70. What was your question?
Well, I was getting a little tied up because was Larry Dierker your manager?
Yes.
Then? Because he did not like that either, right?
You know what? I don't know. Larry Dierker didn't seem to dislike anything. He was such a great guy, and probably the most laid-back manager I had. Of the 40 that I had over the course of my career in all the different places that I played, he'd probably get the #1 ranking for most laid-back. Oh, yeah.
I think it must have been later, maybe when Bonds came back through, and at 73, several years later, Chirinos swings and misses, and that is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kluber in this 5th inning. That gives him 7 this afternoon. But I think, as legend has it, Bonds either tied or broke the record in Houston. A lot of fans showed up to see it, and Dierker was a little perturbed that it happened on his watch. I figured, like, why? No, let's not let him do that here. And B, that so many people were there to view that event instead of, let's say, whatever his club was accomplishing. Here's Mike Napoli, and Kluber pours one in for a strike.
Now, I know we don't see it too often. I think Mike Napoli is about one bad call away from losing his mind a little bit, maybe. Plus, add on the day game factor as well.
Hits this one to center field. Zimmer coming on and completes a quiet 5th inning for these Rangers hitters. We're halfway there. Cleveland by 1.
You guys know that the can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game. That's July 11th, and it's only on Fox.
And you can only vote. Fan voting ends at midnight today, or tonight, or whatever. So
Midnight's usually at night, most days.
here's Zimmer.
And even if you tried to stretch it back a little bit because it's Eastern, even then, 9 o'clock is still night.
Is midnight, though, technically tomorrow?
Not until 12:01. I guess you could say 11:59:59.
Right, so midnight itself being midnight is the next day. It's really getting complicated. The 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. So Zimmer. A quick out in this 5th inning. And 3rd strikeout victim today for Andrew Cashner. Taking a look at the American League balloting so far. Springer, Trout, Judge, like it. That makes sense. Sano, Correa, Altuve, Hosmer signing off. Salvi, Perez, Nelson Cruz. I think the fans got it right, man.
Looking pretty good so far now.
And yes, they've got it right in the National League too now.
Well, but what about Cody Bellinger?
Cody Bellinger.
He's leading the National League in home runs, and he's crushing it.
No.
Not good enough. Doesn't meet your criteria.
No. Take a seat, rookie. He'll be there.
Yep.
It's tough. The problem is I haven't really looked at how the online ballot works. Are they all on there? I mean, because I feel like there's a ballot, and then that's it. You vote on that ballot, and people either have to write in, or you get left out. And I think that's sort of what happened to him, right? He's not on the. I don't think if he's on the ballot per se, then he's in trouble. This ball hit out to left field. Mazzara right there. Kipnis retired, 2 away. Saving us from Owen Insanity. Another Chevy game break, and John Radigan. Yeah, and a wet one last night too. Thanks, John. 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Francisco Lindor. Yeah, so indeed, you're looking at the ballot.
Yep.
He's not on it. So that's
that's correct. How is he not on there? It's one thing I get when we, of course, print the paper ballots back in the old days, and they would be in stadiums. Nothing you could do about that. It's on the website. Some guys that can certainly be erased off of there. Add another, but no Cody Bellinger. Like you said, he'll be there.
Well, you can't manipulate the ballot in the middle of the voting process.
I know. What do you think this is? Presidential election? No, but listen, he should be on there. He should be in the game. I don't understand how they can't put him on, even if you add a guy on. Because, just because of opening day, which again, it kind of, that's one thing I don't love. And I know they want to get very excited about the All-Star game. We start the voting pretty early, and because of situations like this, I think this is a perfect example of why maybe we should wait. I don't know, until May 1st, May 15th at least. And I think it's fair 6 weeks into the season before we start voting. So then if there are any additions, then you go from there.
Well, I won't argue with that. I do think that the voting starts just a tad early.
I mean, and there is a spot for a write-in vote, but who has that kind of time?
The typing and the moving of the cursor. Oof. Lindor 0 for 2, and Cashner's pitch. This one right off the end of the bat. Gallo has time, fires across the diamond against Lindor, and that completes a 1-2-3 for Andrew Cashner. So 5 in the books. Cleveland 2, Texas 1. Brought to you by Sonic Drive-In, and our jackpot today, $1,200 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Steve Zanell of Ennis is our contestant today. So the Rangers hit a home run. Steve wins $1,200. If the Rangers hit a grand slam this inning, well, he wins $25,000. So good luck, Steve. A 2-1 game. How about this? Rangers with 8 players with at least 10 home runs, most in Major League Baseball. I'd say that might be good news for Steve. Rangers have plenty of guys who can get it done, including this guy, Joey Gallo, who walked in the 3rd inning.
And what do you got the over-under on? Where does that finish when it's all said and done? I think 10 is a realistic possibility. Adrian Beltre, Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah.
Could get to 10 that way. Might be it.
1-1 to Gallo. That's a good one. Who else you might add to that list? Robinson, maybe if you got some more time. This one turned down the first baseline foul. The count 1-2.
And you start going home runs per game and really dig again for Drew. What a great day he had at Yankee Stadium. The big home run, the double, and what ultimately ended up being a game-deciding home run. A crazy game.
A little low, and so 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gallo. Mentioned last time when he came up and walked in the 3rd inning, that's a 33rd walk that he had drawn. Pretty impressive number. A little better than 10 shy of the American League lead, but he strikes out swinging here to start the 6th inning.
It's almost like these strikeouts for Corey Kluber have come in spurts. He struck out the first 2 batters of the game, struck out the side in the 2nd, but then nothing in the 3rd, nothing in the 4th, and now he has struck out 3 of the last 4 hitters that he has faced. And there's that great breaking ball. 16 swings and misses for Corey Kluber today, and you see the 8 strikeouts.
So on away, top of the order for Shin-Soo Choo, and he takes strike 1 from Kluber. Last base runner that the Rangers had was Gallo in the 3rd inning via the walk. The last hit they had was Rougned Odor with a base hit in the 2nd. So Kluber has really gotten himself into a groove. And this ball hit on the ground right side. Easy play for Santana. He'll give it to Kluber, 2 away. Comes Elvis Andrus. 3 hits last night, including a long ball.
See, they're getting to a good fastball up in the zone, and talked a bunch about how Elvis is just comfortable here in Cleveland, locked in, sees the ball well, and I would like that to happen now. It's a Sonic slam inning. Stop waiting around, stop messing around. Now is the time.
A little too much waiting, a little too much messing. Andrews struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd. Kluber with 8 strikeouts so far. And starts Elvis with ball 1.
Yeah, even though the pitch was a ball, and you see Nick Martinez warming up now in the Ranger bullpen, but we haven't talked a lot about the great movement Corey Kluber has on that fastball. Even though it was a ball, it's pretty unbelievable. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. He goes there at 93. He's trying to throw the backdoor 2-seamer, the one that starts a ball, comes back and catches the outside part of the plate. He hasn't been able to get it there. When that pitch is on, that's when things really start going well for Corey Kluber.
Finds a corner. 2-1 to Elvis.
So you just saw 3 pitches there. 92, 93, 91. 2 came back into the righty. 1 went the other way. That's the cutter that we saw at 91. Not very many straight fastballs from Corey Kluber.
He continues to work the corners, and it's now 2-2 on Andrews. Kluber, 31 years old. Cy Young Award after the 2014 season, in which he won 18 games. And he runs the count full on Andrews. And we were talking about this much earlier this morning. For as many strikeouts as he gets, he's efficient on an inning-by-inning basis.
It's crazy. 14.8 on the year. That's his average per inning, but it's also the same average that he has had from 2014 to 2017. So that entire time, he has averaged 14.8 pitches per inning. Doesn't make sense for a guy with that many strikeouts.
Full count of the pitch on the way to Elvis. Swings and misses, strike 3, and that is 9 strikeouts for Kluber. And another 1-2-3 for the Indians, right-handed. Game summary, and Corey Kluber has been as advertised.
Yeah, we use this phrase a lot where a pitcher will carve up an opposing offense, and that's what Corey Kluber is doing tonight. We say that because of the different ways that he is doing it. It's been the cutter, it's been the really good curveball, the two-seam fastball. Had a very nice at bat against Elvis Andrews where he went fastballs away, two-seamers, then went back to the cutter, finished him with a cutter that had a little bit more depth, probably actually closer to his curveball. It's been a good day for him. 9 strikeouts to just his 1 walk.
Now first pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that one is belted to the base of the fence, and it's a leadoff double for Michael Brantley. Brantley's second double of the day off of Cashner. He's had the good swings. 15 now for the year for him.
This is a good rip by Michael Brantley, who comes out swinging right away, gets a pitch that he can handle, left up over the middle of the plate. Had a little bit of topspin on it. Otherwise, I think he would have had a chance to get that out of the ballpark. And it was the 76th pitch for Andrew Cashner. We told before the game that he would be somewhere right around 85. So that's why we saw Nick Martinez warming up prior. So just about 9 pitches left for Cashner.
Edwin Encarnacion breaks his bat, and that one rolls through into right field, but Cashner was hit by the bat. Brantley around third, he'll score. It's a 3-1 Indians lead, but Cashner took a shot from the barrel of that bat.
That was scary to watch when you see that live, and it's good to see that Andrew Cashner is up and walking around. One of those things you always worry about with these bats and what happens and when they break, and sitting there trying to react and wondering where the ball is and everything else. And watch Andrew Cashner here. This bat is just coming at him like a helicopter propeller, and it catches him in his throwing arm. He wasn't looking at first because he looked at the ball, and it looked like it caught him near the elbow on the forearm. Not exactly sure where, but dangerous when you see this. Andrew Cashner is going to be back on the mound, and he's going to try and throw a couple of pitches. Shakes his head like he thinks he's fine, but man, that is scary.
Yeah, and of course we'll find out more later. The reaction might have been more out of fear than anything else, right? I mean, that thing coming at you, and he didn't pick it up till late. He was watching the flight of the baseball, and then all of a sudden noticed, I'm sure his peripheral vision, that there's something else coming at me, and then trying to turn away, but it just did clip him right around the back of the elbow.
No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the fear in this situation can be pretty monumental. I mean, you're trying to figure out exactly what is going on. Is that back coming at you? Is that sharp end coming at you? But Andrew Cashner was able to stay in the game. Scary moment.
When he gets strike one into Jose Ramirez. So an RBI single by Edwin Encarnacion. 3-1, Cleveland leads. They pick up a pretty big insurance run. Ramirez, who's 0 for 2, takes it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. We were talking about the All-Star game ballot, and you're concerned about Bellinger getting into the game for the National League. I do think fans have gotten both the American League and National League rosters about as right as they could. This one lined over first. That's a base hit into right field. Ramirez is on. Encarnacion goes to third base. It's a double for Jose Ramirez. Indians have him second and third, nobody out.
Jeff Bannister is trotting out a little quickly here. Kind of wonder, you see the manager come out like that. Sometimes it is about talking to his pitcher a little bit. He's near that pitch count at 81. Nick Martinez has been ready. I just wonder if he wants to give him another hitter. He does not. That's going to be it for Andrew Cashner.
So Cashner done. First trip into the bullpen for either team. It's a 3-1 game.
Are in the bottom of the 6th. The Rangers trailing 3-1, and Nick Martinez is on in relief, and it had been Nick and Austin Bivens-Dirks that were available out of the bullpen in long relief. Jeff Bannister made the decision earlier this week to go with Austin Bivens-Dirks starting in the opener against the White Sox tomorrow, so that's why you're seeing Nick Martinez, who will continue to be available in long relief out of the bullpen until, of course, things situate themselves in the rotation, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. And really not available until today. After his last outing, he needed a couple of days to get the arm back into shape through better than 90 pitches on Sunday. So today, the first day available, brought in the game. Lonnie Chisenhall hitting for Brandon Guyer, and a breaking ball is upstairs for a ball.
I'll take a look at Nick Martinez, and what you'll see from him, the fastball averaging 92 miles an hour. He got rid of the slider, went predominantly to just the cutter, 21% at 89. You see the curveball and the changeup as well. And he's had a couple of good starts. Last one he allowed 4 runs in that Yankees start, but throwing the ball pretty well. I think for Jeff Bannister in the back and forth of figuring out exactly what they wanted to do, who they wanted to put into the rotation. Maybe not an easy decision, and so Austin will get that out.
Quite the spot here for Martinez with nobody out, men at second and third base. Definitely a spot where a strikeout would be huge for him. 1-1. Bouncer, and that one by first, down the line and deep into right field. Encarnacion is in. Ramirez scores. It's a 2-run double for Chisenhall. The Indians' 3rd run of the inning. It's a 5-1 lead.
And they continue to deliver now here with runners in scoring position. It's been 3 doubles and a single this inning, and this is that slider, and it stayed up a little bit on Nick, and he's able to squeeze it just in the line past that diving Mike Napoli. He gave it everything he possibly had, but he was played pretty far off the line. Not much of a chance to get to that ball, and the Indians all of a sudden now putting themselves an inning together.
All 5 runs scored so far. Charge to Cashner's line. You can close the book on him. Chisenhall out there at second base. The responsibility now of Martinez, and the first pitch in there for a strike to Carlos Santana. Indians have proven to be a real stiff challenge for the Rangers this year. The season opening series in Arlington did not go well for the Rangers, and this series starting to slip away as well.
And again, still haven't seen the long ball, right? It's the contact, putting the ball in play. It even hasn't always been good contact. That's the thing that has been a little bit of frustration here for, I'm sure, some of the Rangers pitchers. Make a good pitch, and especially if you feel like you make that pitch, you can get by a guy and he puts it in play. Maybe he hits that ground ball in the right spot, or he bloops it into the outfield. We've seen a pretty decent amount of that over this 4-game series.
Time asked for by Chirinos. He wants to reset. One-two to Santana. Held on by Chirinos. Nicely done. 1 away in the 6th inning.
Watch this pitch here. Foul tip, and you don't usually see that. It's usually the foul tip. It rattled around a little bit, so we got a really good look at the baseball. They're trying to work a catcher's glove down in the heel near the bottom there. It's pretty hard to squeeze a baseball down there, especially when it's off of a bat and a foul tip. It's a very nice job by Robinson Chirinos. That ball, more often than not, will pop out of the glove.
So now 1 away for Yan Gomes. And Martinez starts him off with a strike. Gomes had a base hit in the 3rd inning, scored a run, grounded out in the 4th. Two runs scored in the 3rd inning for Cleveland. That brought them back from behind. Rangers scored first today on the Mazzaro homer. They've added 3 more here in the 6th inning, and there's a swing. It's 0-2. Cashner 5+ innings. Allowed 5 runs on 6 hits, walked 2. And struck out 3 this afternoon. This ball hit to center field. Coming on for it. Gomez, 2 away. And now Bradley Zimmer. Four hits in this series. Today, the 4th game of this series. It's a long 10-game trip for the Rangers. Started with 3 in New York. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. That was the 3rd consecutive road series that the Rangers had won, all against division-leading teams. And came in here against Cleveland. Cleveland was actually a half game out of first place when this series began. Lazy fly ball to center. Zimmer retired for the final out of the inning. 3-run score, and we go to the 7th. Big uphill climb left for the Rangers.
Trailing the Indians by a score of 5-1. So we welcome you back to Cleveland, and it is time now for our State Farm winning combination. And we saw the bat of Nomar Mazara in action earlier today. That solo home run to get the Rangers on the board. Talked to Jeff Bannister about how he's been so successful in his sophomore season. He says his ability to physically control his lower half and the outside part of the plate allows him to expand the plate and make more contact on those outside balls. Also, he says his knowledge of the pitchers and his supreme confidence don't hurt either, guys.
No, pretty good combination. Nomar with his 11th home run of the year earlier in this one. Lonnie Chisenhall stays in the game after that pinch hit double. Takes over in right field for Brandon Guyer. Chisenhall, by the way, with that 2-run double, gives him 9 pinch hit RBIs this year. 9 in the pinch. That's a tough gig.
Really
pinch
tough.
hitting, and to be that productive not even halfway through the season, that's remarkable.
And that role can be a little bit frustrating. Now, he's played a bunch too, and he's hit the ball well. He came in hitting .306 into this game, but you're having that kind of year in the part-time role, you can start giving at-bats away when you become a pinch hitter a little bit. It's very difficult to do, but you're right, he's had a nice year so far. Lenny Harris, the all-time pinch hit leader, one of the best we've ever seen. And then Fox Sports San Diego, Mark Sweeney, number 2 on that list. It's a little bit of a different kind of approach. It's not an easy thing to do. A couple of guys have made careers out of it, but pinch hitting a tough kick.
Matt Stairs jumps to mind as a guy who's very good at it in his career.
A lot. My list stopped at 2. That's all. Off the top of my head, I'm done after 2.
Fastball in there, and strike 3 called on Mazara. So double-digit strikeouts today for Corey Kluber.
Kluber continues to dominate. Looks really good. You see that 2-seam fastball. We call that the front door 2-seam fastball, and that's where it starts off the plate, comes back in, tails in, just catches the inside corner. That is a ball the entire way to Nomar Mazara until the very end. How about Corey Kluber today? 14 of 21 first pitch strikes, 19 swings and misses.
Well, that's a big number right there. Beltre holds off on ball one. Kluber has retired now 14 of the last 15 batters he has faced. The only guy he did not retire was Joey Gallo. He walked him in the third inning, and then Gallo got picked off. So he has faced the minimum since the Odor leadoff single in the second inning. 4 straight games of 10 or more strikeouts for Kluber.
6th overall for him this year. It's really amazing to watch him work. A hero last year to this team in the postseason. What he did on short rest after they had lost a couple of their starters to injuries. He kept taking the balls. He's a very quiet, unassuming guy. I use this phrase before, right? Lunch pail guy, just comes to work, does his job. No drama surrounding Corey Kluber.
Popped up by Beltre. Santana over. No room for him.
I'd say he's pretty opposite of what a lot of players are. This isn't a bad thing for them. It's just kind of the generation that we're in, where guys are, they're brand building because of what's available on social media, and they're out there a little bit more, and fans can get to know you a little bit. That's okay. But Corey Kluber, not one of those guys.
Well, 1 out here in the 7th inning. He's 2-2 on Beltre. And a high, slow chopper third. Ramirez, nothing doing. Well, Beltre with an infield hit. And that gives him 2,970 career hits. 30 more left.
And what a way to end that streak of 12 consecutive sat down in a row by Corey Kluber. And Adrian just caught the top half of this baseball. Didn't hit it too hard at all, and sometimes that's a better thing, right? He hits that a little bit harder. It's probably not going to bounce nearly as high. And Ramirez, I mean, he gave an effort, but he could have fielded that as cleanly as possible, or even barehanded. He would have no chance to get even Adrian Beltre in that spot.
So the Rangers have a base runner, down by 4 in the 7th. In need of a win to try and split the 4 games here in Cleveland. So to keep accumulating base runners. Odor takes a strike. He is 1 for 2 today. Real nice base hit back in the second inning. That was the last Rangers hit prior to that Beltre single just a moment ago. This ball hit on the ground, right side. Diving stop by Kipnis, back to second to get the lead man. Wow, nice play by Jason Kipnis. Erases Beltre from the bases. Odor is on via the fielder's choice.
And this was Jason Kipnis aware of the base runner in Adrian Beltre, who we know does not run as well as he once did. Great job ranging to his left, makes the diving play. He very easily could have taken that out at first and made it 2 outs, and you got a 4-run lead. Why not? He'll be a little bit conservative, but he felt good about the fact that he knew he had some time. So why not go ahead and get the lead runner?
A real nice defensive play by Kipnis. And so the inning left on the shoulders of Carlos Gomez here with 2 outs, a man on, top of the 7th. Remember earlier today, Odor stole second base, and once he got out there, he stole third with 2 out in the second inning. So he had a good read on Kluber earlier. Now Kluber had also thrown over a number of times, trying to keep him close. Of course, in this spot, a 4-run deficit. They need base runners more than they need a man in scoring position per se. The count 0-2 on Gomez. Gomez struck out both times today. Swinging in the second, looking in the 5th. Stays 0-2. Rangers have leaned very heavily on the home run on this road trip, certainly in this series. Another home run earlier today by Mazara. Their only run today, a solo shot. Their last, what was it, 9 home runs have all been solo shots. The door leads. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Gomez strikes out to end it. Look at the last 7. Anyway, 5-1 Indians as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
It's a 5-1 lead against the Rangers, and let's take a look at our AT&T high-speed replay. We'll look at Andrew Kashner's day and some of the things that didn't go his way. A pitch there he didn't like against Michael Brantley probably should have been called a strike, and then there was this ball in the dirt. He's a little bit late getting there, but thought he had made it up with the tag, but they said no, and that play was not reviewed. Then some bad luck here. Made a great pitch against Edwin Encarnacion, broke his bat, went right back at Andrew Kashner. Looked like it caught him on the right elbow and scared him a little bit, but he was able to stay in the game afterwards, so that is certainly some good news. But some bad breaks today for Andrew Kashner. That inning got a little bit ugly after that. 3 runs scored in that 6th inning and ultimately ended up knocking him out. Nick Martinez has been in since.
Martinez, after giving up a double, got 3 consecutive hitters and now starts with Kipnis and goes 1-1 to him. So Martinez out for the 7th inning, has the top of the order. Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, and Michael Brantley. Bouncer first base side goes foul. That's a nice addition to the bullpen now for the Rangers. You know, Martinez and Austin Bibbins-Dirks have both been guys kind of in limbo start to start. Every time we went through the rotation, they were oftentimes available in long relief, but wondering whether or not they would stay in the rotation or become bullpen pieces. This one lifted out to left field. Mazara, plenty of room and time to get there, 1 away. But now we know, and Martinez available out there and can eat some innings, hopefully even some more today. Hey, Fox Sports Supports proud to team up with Positive Coaching Alliance and its mission to develop better athletes and better people. We work to provide all youth and high school athletes a positive character-building youth sports experience. Just go to foxsportsupports.com to learn more.
No, you're right, and there was opportunity because of all the starting pitchers that have been used. We talked about it, right, in our open 10 of them so far, and so that meant opportunity for Nick Martinez and Austin Bibbins-Dirks and other guys getting some starts.
Another fly ball out to left field. Mazara going back. He'll look up and have to take this one high off the fence. He has a good arm. The throw to second. Not in time. Lindor gets in there, his 22nd double of the year, but Mazar made it close.
He certainly did. There wasn't much he could do. Had to wait for this ball to come down as it was hit high off the wall. We'll get a look at it here in a minute. And Nomar did everything he possibly could. Watch this here. Off-speed pitch, stays up in the zone. Definitely had some carry on it. Nomar knew right away he wasn't going to be able to catch it, so he just had to wait and wait. Played it about as well as you possibly could. A strong throw to second base. Not going to do much better than that, unfortunately, for the Rangers. Francisco Lindor's speed was able to get him in there just in time.
So another man in scoring position, another at bat with a runner in scoring position. Apparently he's had a great day today with a couple of hits and a walk, a couple of doubles and a walk. Those all against Andrew Cashner. So it's a different look here.
Getting back to what you were talking about with the starters, Nick Martinez now in the bullpen. While those guys were filling in, it also then becomes about, that performance matters. That gives Jeff Bannister a little bit more confidence on who he can use now out of the bullpen. Now Martin Perez is still on a DL, right? So he has to come back, and Nick threw well, and so right now he slides into the bullpen, and Banny feels pretty good about the fact that he can use him in these long situations. Now, one of those starters, of course, was Alex Claudio, which I don't think we'll see him start again. Dylan G no longer in the organization, but for those other guys, and don't forget AJ Griffin is still on the DL as well. A little bit of a battle internally as far as who stays in the rotation and then who gets to stay in the pen as well.
3-0 to Brantley.
The other part of the conversation when Doug Brocail, Jeff Bannister, John Daniels sit down is, okay, this guy's done this in the rotation. How does that translate into the bullpen? Like, of the guys that you're thinking about moving into the bullpen, which translates better, which is going to put us in a better spot to win based on their stuff, how they handle, whether it be middle of the innings or how they feel like their stuff plays late in the game, whatever it may be. All those factors come into play.
Brantley works a walk after the one-out double by Lindor, so the Indians have a couple of men on. And it brings up Edwin Encarnacion, who batted last inning and delivered that broken bat single to right field, where the top half of his bat whirled out to the mound and struck Cashner on his right arm. And here comes Doug Brocail. Tanner Scheppers starts to loosen in the Rangers bullpen. It's a 4-run game, so you'd love to have Nick Martinez go as deep as possible. The benefit or the luxury of having a guy like Martinez, who just coming off a start several days ago, is that he gives you that ability to go many innings and give everybody a break in that bullpen. Maybe have a fresher pen going into Chicago.
That would be ideal. The only people that have had a couple of days off here have been Alex Claudio, who has had 2, Tanner Scheppers, who was warming up, who has had 2. The other part of that, of course, too, is the move that was made for Andrew Cashner was Preston Claiborne was optioned down, so he is no longer in that bullpen. So either everybody pitched for the most part yesterday or has only had one day off, with the exception of Claudio and Scheppers. I got to believe Tanner Scheppers most likely would love to be able to throw an inning tonight or today, maybe a clean inning in the 8th inning. He struggled in the opener here where he did not retire a batter. When you have those outings and you're down the bullpen, you can't wait to get back out there. But you got to think about it, right? It's like having a bad start. Bad start, it's worse. You have 4 days at least to sit around. You're thinking about that start. You want redemption. You want to get back on the right track. I got to believe for Tanner Scheppers, he's feeling that way, sitting down in that bullpen.
Martinez getting a new set of signs now from Chirinos. Lindor at second, Brantley at first for the Indians. 1 out here in the 7th inning. This one fouled away. It's 1-2 on Encarnacion.
It's a pretty good crowd here today for 12 o'clock start in the middle of the week.
A lot of people playing hooky.
it wasn't too bad with the kid groups. That could be
Right.
an upside for them. Maybe a little downside for us sometimes. You get too many of those kids games. I know you and I have had that experience in the minor leagues. That's a different tone over the ballpark when it is filled with children. Because I don't know if you know this, Dave, but children make a lot of noise. They do it at a different pitch than everybody else. Now look at that. It's a good kid right there.
I see a lot of youngsters here.
Well-behaved youngsters. Those dare days, right?
Yeah.
Those 10 o'clock starts in the minor leagues. Oh boy.
Fill a ballpark with about 10,000, elementary school kids. And the first fly ball of the game. Oh, man.
I feel like you're at a Bieber concert or something.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was a fly ball to center field, man. You go crazy. 2-2. And a full count now on Encarnacion. So Martinez, who got Santana, Gomes, and Zimmer in order in the 6th inning, and then got Kipnis to start this 7th. Running into a bit of trouble here. A double to Lindor. The walk to Brantley. Now a full count to a very dangerous designated hitter in Edwin Encarnacion. 3-2. That one fouled off.
You know Nick is working hard to try to get that ground ball against Edwin. I mentioned it. He hits the ball on the ground a lot against right-handed pitchers. Now the shift has been on that not as strong as Ruben Odor's been a little bit more on the second base side of second base. We have seen him in this series where he'll be standing directly behind the bag or even on the shortstop side of second base. If Nick can get that two-seam fastball where he wants it, or even cut her down and away, he might be able to give himself that ground ball.
Encarnacion lifts it high in the air to left field. Mazzara finding a little bit of a breeze and the sunshine, but makes the play. 2 out in this 7th inning. Okay, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to John Radigan. Okay, thanks, John. 4-run game here. 5-1 our score. And Chirinos out there with a very earnest conversation with Nick Martinez. 2 away. They will try to figure out a way to get Jose Ramirez, 5th place hitter for the Indians. A double earlier in today's game. He has scored a run. Ramirez has made some very nice plays in this series, has 5 hits so far in this series. Showed you earlier the Indians hitting for very high average in these 4 games. They had 12 hits last night. They had 19 hits on Monday night. Tuesday they were held in check by Tyson Ross and company. Just 3 hits in that 2-1 Rangers win. The only win the Rangers have had over the Indians this year. But today more offense. 5 runs on 8 hits. Cleveland, by the way, the getaway day not just for the Rangers but also for the Indians. They will take off and go to Detroit. They have a 4-game series over the weekend, a day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Bouncing ball, first base side. Napoli will go to the bag. Martinez covering, and the inning is over. So the Indians had 1 hit in the inning. They leave 2. We'll go to the 8th. It's a 4-run game. buyers with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. There it is, CJ.
Where are we? Cleveland.
Cleveland, man.
Europe for a minute.
Yeah, right. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That is pretty cool, that guitar. Is that a baseball guitar they have there front?
Yeah, that is pretty cool. 8th inning here. 5-1. Indians on top. Bottom third of the order coming for the Rangers. Vitrinos, Napoli, and Gallo against Corey Kluber. Continuing to deal this afternoon. 10 strikeouts for Kluber. And you mentioned that's his 4th straight start with 10 or more strikeouts. And that's a franchise record here in Cleveland. See his updated numbers for the month of June. Pretty good.
Corey Kluber has just been locked in, and he can get like that, and he can do that over the course of a season. And you know, one of these great starting pitchers, like so many of them, take great care of themselves and do everything they can to make sure that they're feeling good every 5th day. And when he is on and he is feeling good, his stuff is so live, so difficult to get to, so many swings and misses. And when he gets that breaking ball right there, the one that gets a little bit more horizontal, one took off a little further than he wanted to, but it is so unbelievably late and tight, but yet it has big movement to it as well.
11 strikeouts already this afternoon, and it's 2-2 on Chirinos. So Bob Feller recorded 4 straight games of 10 or more strikeouts, but that was at the end of the 1938 and beginning of the 39 season. Rapid Robert, a Hall of Famer. This one popped up. Left field, foul ground. Playable. Lindor way over from short to make the play, and there's one out.
Well, fans, you want to make sure you get a jump start on your Independence Day celebrations this year. Come head out to the ballpark on Monday, July 3rd for a spectacular post-game fireworks show. It's going to be the Reds. It's going to be the Red Sox. 7:05, and tickets are available at TexasRangers.com. And that will be the first of 2 back-to-back fireworks nights, the 3rd and the 4th. Lots going on. This final homestand heading into the All-Star break. Love to see you guys out there. Dave won't be there, but I will be. Tom Grieve will be, so that's even a bigger reason. Now you can look at that 2 ways. I can say, well, it's a bigger reason to come because, you know, Dave's not going to be there, but then that means you're not going to be home listening to the game. It's me and Tom.
I can see that you are torn.
I am torn. So stay home, watch the game, come to the ballpark.
Napoli rolls out to second base, 2 away.
A quick update here on Andrew Kashner. He suffered a contusion, easy for me to say, and he is getting precautionary x-rays. So hopefully nothing serious. If you played safe, take a look at that. But scary moment when that bat broke off of Edwin Encarnacion and ended up hitting Andrew Kashner. He did stay in the game, faced 2 more hitters, but has since come out and will get some x-rays just to play it safe.
All right, well, 2 away here. Here's Gallo, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Kluber, pitch count at 106 up to the moment. Certainly not an outlandish number for him. He has had a number of starts in which he has gone further. 109 pitches in the opener in Arlington. And then he had another 110 pitch outing in Chicago against the White Sox. One and 2 to Joey Gallo. Rangers have had precious little going today against Kluber. Mazzara hit the home run in the first inning. And other than that, just 2 hits, an infield hit by Beltre, a sharp single by Odor, and a walk. One run on 3 hits. The righty's 1-2 pitch. Oh, that is very high. Early start here today. We got started right at lunchtime, just a smidge after noon local time. And they do that with some frequency here. 12 o'clock starts is a foul ball by Gallo. Keeps the count 2-2.
And you'll be seeing a little bit more of that next year. We've talked about there'll be some more day games on travel days. Now we don't have to travel very far to Chicago. This would have been an easy one as far as the night game and heading into another city. As it is a short flight, obviously, here from Cleveland to Chicago. And very nice crowd here. Did you catch that sign, by the way, up in right field? Mo Vaughn Transport.
I did notice that the other day, yeah.
That is the Mo Vaughn.
Strike 3 called on Gallo. 12th strikeout of the afternoon for Corey Kluber. Tip your cap to that man. He's been pretty good so far this afternoon.
The Rangers by a score of 5-1, and on Saturday, July 8th, another one of these great things that'll be happening during the next homestand. The Rangers are playing the Angels at 8 o'clock, and we're going retro for Turn Back the Clock Night. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older get a Mike Napoli powder blue replica jersey. That'll be courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and Southwest Airlines. Tickets available at TexasRangers.com.
All right, bottom of the 8th inning. Tanner Scheppers has come on. Nick Martinez gave the Rangers a couple of innings.
You see Tanner, that 2-pitch pitcher, fastball slider, good fastball at 94 miles an hour. I mentioned the first game that he had here. Struggled a little bit in the opener. Had a walk, couple of base hits. All 3 runners came around to score eventually. So it was the first runs that he allowed this year. Had thrown the ball pretty well up to that point. At 3 shutout innings since he had been recalled.
It's 1-1 to Chisenhall, a little bit in for ball 2. Chisenhall pinch hit in the 6th inning, delivered a double, brought home 2 very big runs. And fouls this one back. With Chisenhall, Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes in the 8th. Scheppers trying to keep it a 4-run game. And strike 3 called. Chisenhall down looking, and that's how we start the 8th inning.
Good job there by Tanner Scheppers, and like I said, probably excited to get back out there. So, as you know, Dave, I have a lot of average ideas.
Yep.
And I have a lot of bad ideas. This is one of my average ideas. So I've been coming here for a long time. First pitched here in '95, and I always thought it'd be cool. That's a glass restaurant that they have here, which is a pretty cool spot to watch games. My idea: get those people out of there, fill that thing with water, and put sharks in there. Tell me that would not be one of the coolest ballpark features maybe even entertainment features in the history of sports.
I think I'm willing to tell you that.
I'm pretty sure that can hold water. I don't know.
All you need is a little flex tape or flex seal.
Yeah, that stuff.
And
build a boat out of it, right?
Build it, saw it in half, build a boat.
You needed some screen and that flex tape and off you go. Across the Atlantic you go.
1-2 to Carlos Santana. Now, well, they have the Rays tank in Tampa.
Too tiny.
Okay, they've got the
in Miami.
The aquariums
they got
in Miami.
Aquariums in Miami. You got the Stingrays.
No.
That's big. Now, Shark Tank, obviously, only the sharks can probably live in there. You could go friendly. Like big, huge turtles, and maybe you get the predators out and make it just more of a pretty awesome aquarium.
Line drive out into right field, and Santana has an extra base hit. That'll be a one-out double in this 8th inning. And how about that? The Indians continue to put up big numbers in this series. Still no home runs, but the number of extra base hits that they have managed is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of line drives to go along. We've talked about some of the weak contact and balls that have fallen in, but you don't score as many runs as they've had over this 4-game series without hitting some balls hard. And this is certainly one here from Santana, but a lot of doubles. Just see Carlos Santana picking up a little bit because he knows Chu has the good arm. Now there's no play to be made, but just wanted to make sure.
That's 6 doubles this afternoon for the Indians. And now Yan Gomes, who had a single in the 3rd. Shepard pushes him off the plate with ball 1. Well, this Indians team has certainly shown that they can put bat on ball. There's some really good consistency, at least in this series. 1 to Gomes. There's only one Indian so far who has failed to come up with a base hit. Geyer had to lead the game early after just 2 at bats. This one down the right field line, slicing toward the corner, and it is foul. Long strike on Gomes. But Jason Kipnis in the top spot is 0 for 4 with 4 flyouts. And as I look through my book, that's the only spot in the order that has not had a hit. One-two from Shepard, and a fly ball center field. Gomez is there. 2 out. Santana tags. He'll move to 3rd. And it will bring up Bradley Zimmer. All right, our progressive upcoming schedule starting tomorrow night in Chicago. On the south side, a night game tomorrow, then a couple of day games to follow Saturday and Sunday as we wrap up the road trip, head back home. Get ready for the Boston Red Sox for a 3-game series. Seems like the Rangers have been out on a long roadie on this one so far, and there's still another stop to go. The vagaries of these 3-city trips. Rangers with 7 road trips of 3 cities, and that is the most in the big leagues, and in fact the most of any team in the big league since 2006. And those are tough, man. I'll tell you what, you talk to the other teams and they all say the same thing. They just kind of guffaw when you tell them, yeah, 7 trips in 3 cities, man. And they hold up their hands, walk away. Ooh, sorry.
So you get instant street cred.
Yeah.
But no, it's difficult. It can be tough on the guys. And listen, this is a great job, and to be able to play Major League Baseball for a living is a privilege, and there's no better job in the world. But it doesn't mean that there aren't certain aspects of it that can be very difficult. That is definitely one of them, especially when you're a East Coast team and playing on the West Coast, vice versa, when you're changing multiple time zones over the course of a trip, or even from wherever your home city is. That can be really difficult. I remember one year opening up, leaving spring training in Florida, opening up in Oakland, and then going to Baltimore. That That was the first trip of the year after being in Florida for the entire spring training. It can be tough.
Bouncer right side. Odor has it. Good flip to Sheppers covering first, and they get the final out of the inning.
Well, let's take a look. That's how we fill up our Shark Tank or our aquarium. These guys will reel some stuff in for us.
The Rangers trailing by 4. Brian Shaw got the win Monday night here in relief. Pitched again Tuesday night, a full inning in relief, and here he is Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He's the one guy that had the day off yesterday of the big three. When you look at what they have down there in the Cleveland Indians bullpen, he's done a very nice job. His heavy cutters that you'll see from Shaw, it's a good one. It sits at around 94 miles an hour. Throw a changeup slider in there as well. But it is really all about the cutter for Brian Shaw.
We'll have the top of the order to deal with here. Chu bounces the first one over to first, and just like that, there is one away. Well, it was quite the outing today for Corey Kluber. 12 strikeouts in his 8 innings of work, allowed just the 1 run on 3 hits. The run, a Nomar Mazara homer. The other part of the story today is that Andrus, as you can see, hitless so far today. Something that's only happened twice in his career visiting Cleveland. The one guy who has been swinging the bat very well on this road trip for the Rangers. 11 hits coming in on this trip. And he takes strike 1 from Shaw. Back to Elvis with 3 home runs on this roadie. 8 RBIs. But a couple of strikeouts today. A ground out to third.
I'll take the sticks back.
And it's 1-1.
Yeah, I'll get the sticks. You want to leave the rain cover right there?
Shaw's 3rd appearance in this series. Obviously not a safe spot. We saw yesterday, we saw Cody Allen come on in a 5-1 game in the 9th inning. Not a safe spot. And this one bounced into left field. Base hit for Elvis Andrus. So there you go. It is officially a game in Cleveland. Elvis has his hit.
So would that bring us up to 36, 34, 36? How many numbers?
Pretty close.
And really, that's all numbers have to be, or close. You see the cutter there from Elvis Andrus and stayed up and in. And Elvis was able to hit it in that home, keep it alive. Did he come in 30 to 31 or 31 to 32? I feel like we've been here a while.
He has hit safely now in 33 of 35 games that he has played at Progressive Field. Well, he is on for Mazara. And a good fastball. Finds the inside corner for a strike. Nomar with a home run on the first, 1 for 3. Mentioned this earlier. The Rangers' last 7 home runs have all been solo home runs. Andrus running. Got up there in a hurry. 0-2 on Nomar. To make sure everybody's okay in the stands, and there's the applause. So good news. One of those things get up there in the seats like that, and you really have to hold your breath.
Let's see, there's a kid that had a glove. I don't think he caught it clean, but he's got it.
Nobody holding Andrus at first base, so he'll likely be off and running again. There he goes, and another one fouled off by Mazara. So Elvis getting some exercise. Adrian Beltre waits on deck. Already has 1 hit today. Just 30 short of 3,000 in his career. The 0-2. And that one is inside. This time Andrus allowed to go to second base and stop there. Defensive indifference. So no steal for Elvis. Mazara really battling with Shaw here. We saw it last night. You know, this team, it's got a little fight in it. Andrus homered last night in the 9th inning. Then Lucroy got a 2-out single, followed by Odor with a base hit that got him home.
You think about a Jeff Bannister run team, and there's no way, and some of the leadership that is here, that these guys will ever lay down. They're never not in a game because of the power.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mazara. Mazara, she's 22 years old. A fact we oftentimes nearly forget. As much work as he has already done. Keeps this at bat going again. The great, seemingly like veteran kind of at bats that he gives.
It's all about the personality, even keel. Emily talked about that earlier in the season. Never too high, never too low. It's a great way to go through this game. It's not easy to do. It becomes even that much more impressive when he does it at his age right now. And you mentioned him being 22. I think we forget that Odor is only 23.
Yeah.
There's kind of a contrast on this team we haven't talked about very much. When you have Adrian at 38, Chu at 35.
Bouncer third base. Ramirez has had a nice series over there. Retires Mazara. That is the second out of the inning.
You hear that phrase all the time. Well, we got a good mix of veterans and young players, right? It's kind of a cliche that you throw out there. But you look at this team, especially in this lineup today. 2 35-year-olds, and Mike Napoli and Chu, and I mentioned Beltre being 38. And you got some guys in their really early 20s. So there's a pretty big gap there between a lot of these guys. It's 16 years between Nomar and Adrian.
So you go from Nomar to Adrian. Here is Beltre. He'll take a strike. Beltre. Forget Beltre being one of the premier players in baseball right now. You're looking at one of the all-time greats. 0-2 the count. It'll be so interesting too one day to look back and think about how he is remembered. You look at where he stands among third basemen on the all-time home run chart. Closing in on Chipper Jones, third place. Beltre, the excellent defense, the incredible offensive ability, and then the entertainer that is Adrian Beltre. Little tapper back to Shaw, and he will underhand it, taking care of Beltre and the Rangers in the ninth. And hey, the Cleveland Indians, defending American League champs, they take 3 of 4 in this series and do it in impressive fashion today. 12 strikeouts from Corey Kluber. John Radigan, Mark McLemore, and David Murphy. They will be back shortly to bring you all the player reactions, analysis, and the whatnots from this one today. We'll be back here as well on the post-game show to talk a little bit about tomorrow's game for C.J. Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew. This is Dave Ramon inviting you to stay with us. Our coverage continues right after this.